Hi guys, hope you've had a super awesome day. All right, Valentine's Day, question for you. Is this something that you celebrate, or is it something that you used to celebrate before you had kids? I know growing up as a young girl, I guess in order of importance, Valentine's Day was just behind Christmas Day and my birthday. I always knew when Valentine's was coming up, and it was always on the 14th of February. But quite honestly, Valentine's gifts are lovely. However, I guess the dinner doesn't really last. The chocolates get eaten, or they melt. The flowers, besides the fact they are ridiculously expensive on Valentine's Day, the margin on them is crazy. But they end up dying, and we've got to throw them out. And I guess any other adult outing like movies, dinner, weekends away, these types of things can be a little bit more difficult and require babysitters to make them happen. I guess the biggest thing is, Valentine's is the day of love, and it shouldn't just be celebrated on one day, and we know this. So we've got some awesome ideas to actually have love sort of celebrated and just I guess signified right throughout the whole year. And I'm just going to invite my awesome guest in, so hang on just for a second, guys. Suzanne Robinson from Mummy to Twins Plus One. She is a super busy lady. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
You look fabulous. So we're
Oh,
just
thank
chatting
you.
offline before, and Suzanne
Yep.
was saying that her girls were doing her makeup and putting her jewelry on
Yeah, they
her. So
did
you look
earrings.
fantastic.
Yep, they did everything.
They did everything. So
Yep,
that is
and
always showing
hair.
love as well.
That's right. They were very
So,
fussed. They fussed over me and they did everything. It was very funny and quite
oh, that's
nice.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for anyone that hasn't actually seen Susan before, she is the mastermind behind Mummy to Twins Plus One. She's a very busy mum. She's got identical twin girls and her third son, Alexander. And tonight we're going to be sharing, I guess, some tips on Valentine's gifts, as I was saying in the intro, that keep on giving and sort of can, I guess, be used right throughout the whole year. So for someone that hasn't actually read the article that we published, and the link is in the profile, the title
hmm
is Valentine's Gifts That Keep Giving. Please tell us what's the inspiration behind your article and what's it all about.
Well, we don't have a lot of money and we can't go out because of three children. And I was thinking, well, what do you do to celebrate Valentine's Day? And then I thought, well, it's only really one day. And how do people help the person that they love show that they care and help them get things done during the year? And I thought, well, I hate housework and it would be nice if somebody cooked me a meal. So I was thinking about all the things that it would be nice. I also too, I wouldn't knock flowers and I wouldn't look being whisked away for a magical dinner, that I could actually eat food that I didn't have to make sure that it was fish and chips or deep fried something
And it
for the
wasn't going to be
kids.
cold.
That's right, yeah. And that we could actually have an evening without whinging about what we were actually ordering. But knowing that that's not going to happen, what would the next best thing be? And I thought, well, the next best thing would probably be all the things that I discussed in my article, which were making sure that somebody would help with dinners, for example, either cook or get things organized for you so you didn't have to do it yourself. Make time to make sure that you give mum or whoever, because it might just be mum, there might be dad that does the majority of the cooking. Um, but in my house, it's me. So mum would get a break. So I'd be sitting on my chair doing nothing, maybe with my gin and tonic and getting served dinner while watching my show. Well, nobody's yelling
It's
and
fun for
screaming.
you.
That's it, yeah. So basically, it would be something that you would give back to the person that's been doing everything for everybody else. It doesn't have to be all night, like all week. It could be on the weekend, or it could be on one night a week that somebody has time to do it. It so it could be, as I said, simple as cooking, or it could be organising meal plans to get delivered to the house. For example, if you can spend the money on that, you could do that. I mean, it doesn't need to be that flash, but it could be like that. But that also too helps everybody, because you're not shopping for food, it gets delivered, all your ingredients. If you're getting a meal plan that you get all the recipes done, you eat something different each night, and it's an adventure. Everybody can cook. And it, as I said, it frees up so much time in regards to just that aspect of it, like the cooking. And
Yeah.
then,
Well, you've got
yeah.
some awesome ideas in the article. We've got
Hmm.
we'll get cracking into the questions because I think we're going to
Hmm.
go through the ideas to
Oh,
the
sorry.
questions.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. No,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Hmm.
But I love the concept, the fact that the Valentine's gifts, that we shouldn't just be celebrating love on the 14th. It's a beautiful
Hmm.
concept, and we really should be
Yeah.
doing these things all the time. And just so we're going to be chatting about all different ways that we can show love right throughout the
Hmm.
whole year.
Hmm.
So let's go with question number one, lovely lady.
Okay.
Question number one is racing off for a romantic date night is harder with kids. Isn't that the truth?
Hmm.
Can you please give us some tips on how we can find the time to do this?
Well, I was brainstorming this because I thought, well, we can't do it. And so I was thinking you could either have the cash to get a babysitter, but if you don't have that ability, maybe you could chat to one of the other mums at school and say, look, do you want to go out each month? And we do. What we can do is when you go out, we'll mind your kids, and then vice versa, you can mind our kids. And it means then everybody gets a win. So each month, each family gets a time out. So the parents can go off and do whatever they want that evening, or depending on the relationship and how long the kids might spend the weekend and the parents might go away that weekend. So it depends, or it could be family friends, it could be relatives that live nearby. But if you're like us, we don't have family or relatives that are here, so it's just myself and my husband. So if it's not us doing it, it means we don't get to go out. So what we're trying to do is develop that relationship with some other families, so maybe we can get that time to go away, or at least not necessarily go away, but just to go to a local restaurant would be divine at the moment, just in
And
our own
and,
suburb. Yeah.
and I'm sure parents would be up for this sort of just like share a boat type of
Mm,
concept where everyone's sort of looking out for one another, which is like they always say, it takes a village, doesn't it, to raise a child? And I
very
guess in
true.
that instance, when
Yeah.
you don't have your family around you, it's an awesome idea. Have you done this before?
No, I've been talking to some of the other family, like at school, and I said that some of the kids come over sometimes when their family, like their mum, needs to go and do something. So I'm developing relationships already. So I'm hoping to work on
Keep us updated
it.
on it. Keep us
Yeah, yeah, I
updated.
will
We
do.
want to know.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll let you know
100%.
how it's working out.
All right, question number two. Roses,
Hmm.
chocolates, and dinners are fab, aren't they? But,
Hmm.
what are some gifts that can actually help us? I've got inverted commas, help us and keep on
Yes.
going.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Well, the the other idea of that is, as I said, like with the meal plans, like you can get meal plans delivered. So you could get like Hello Fresh, you could get like Marathon Foods have a Chef Direct packs that they have like pre-packaged food. They don't actually need to be in the fridge. You can store them all in boxes in the pantry. And so you can actually take those ones away on camping. You can have like lamb shanks. They're just delicious. And all you need to do is just heat up rice or mash or something, and you've got an instant meal in 6 minutes that it takes to heat up the
Awesome.
lamb shank. So you could do that, or you could have, for example, you could have like a cleaner come every week or fortnight to clean all the things that takes hours and hours to do. And then you could like spend time having a picnic eventually in your backyard if you don't have the money, or you could do something else, or you could take somebody else off to the movies, while the kids are at school, because the house is getting
But,
cleaned, you know.
so what you're saying, really, if I'm hearing it right, is finding creative ways to buy time.
Mm,
And with that time, that extra time that you have, you can actually put towards doing something that is memorable,
yes.
and or is a special time with your family and or your partner. Is that right?
That's it, yeah. And it doesn't necessarily need to be like the movies or a date night or anything. It could be that you might you might have a trade-off with your partner, and you might say, look, I want to do this every Saturday, and I need the time to do it, and I need a quiet house to do it. Can you take the kids out to the park or wherever every Saturday after breakfast, and at least give me half a day or a day to do whatever I want, and then maybe Sunday I'll take the kids, and then you can do something. So it's sort of like a trade-off. Or like what I was saying to you previously is, like, for example, if you've got a course that you'd like to attend, but it's at night time and you can't get to it because you're the sole carer of the kids, you then need the partner to come home to then allow you, so it's like a trade-off. So if they do that, it means then you can do the course that you've been lusting after. And it might be an art class. It might be you want to learn lead light. You want to do like a nice art deco thing at your house. Like, who knows? But whatever takes your fancy, at least then you've got that option. You can say, okay, well, I really want to do this. And then at least they're giving you that option to have that time. So then at least you have
100%.
and then you come back refreshed and everybody's happy, and then everybody's helping everybody. So it's all that love and appreciation of like you as a person, and that allows, as I said, you to do what you want to do.
100%. Awesome ideas. No. And we've got lots of other ones that we're going to be chatting about after as well, that we're chatting offline. So, and that all leads into the stuff I think that we're also to say that end of the day, your time is the most valuable thing in the world. And to me, I think time, well, it is definitely for me, and look for everybody, because it's the one thing in the world that you can't give back.
That's true.
So you can't get back. Sorry.
No.
So that's why it's the most value. So from that perspective, I think showing that and giving time to your loved ones for them to be able to do what they want to do for themselves, and or creating time and space in your life to be able to have quality time, as opposed to time being stressful and that sort of stuff. I think is the most number one important thing that we need to be doing, not just on the 14th of February, but right throughout the whole year.
I agree.
All right, question number 3. Let's get into it. Now, Valentine's Day is one day in the calendar, just as we were saying. We know we should do more for our loved ones all year. How can we achieve this? Do tell.
Well, like I was saying before, like actually acknowledging what the person does. Like, for example, if they're a stay-at-home parent, like acknowledging that they've worked hard during the week, that they've done this, they've done that, or geez, you did that well, or thank you for the dinner, or geez, this was lovely, or how about I cook for you, or put your feet up, you've worked hard, or no, I'll do the dishes, or maybe I'll fold the laundry, or something that, or don't worry, I'll take the kids to school in the morning, you can sleep in, or I'll take them to, that's it, or I'll do something, and then it makes you feel like you're actually appreciated, and then and then it's all like, and then you can have that conversation with your partner or your whoever it is, and then say, look, I want to do this, and then I need you to help me get to that. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't just leave, because you're caring for people and you've got responsibilities, so you need that assistance if you want to do whatever you want to do. So it's nice to have that other person supportive and on the same page. And then that also too means that you, as a person who, if you're at home doing all that work, you're not going to get resentful and shitty, if you know what I mean, about the fact that nobody's really thinking about that you do anything. And then it's sort of like, you do stuff, and it's at least it's acknowledged and it's cared for, and you think, oh, that's good, thanks.
100%. And look, what we were saying before, these are some other ideas that we're sort of just chatting about. Is one, as we were just saying earlier, time. It's the most valuable thing, we can't get it back. But if we can donate our time, not just to our loved ones, but even showing love in different ways to the greater community, even to a charity or a not-for-profit organisation, even just doing our neighbours. I think,
that's true.
And even just picking up the phone and having a quality conversation with a friend or someone that you haven't spoken to in a while, or just making time for your extended family, meaning like, not your immediate family being your partner, your children, but your parents, your brothers, your sisters. I think time is the most important thing in the world. Another one is random acts of kindness. This is a different way for us to be able to spread love right throughout the whole year. There's so many things that we can do. I'm sure we see them online all the time. But, for example, like, not that all places necessarily have parking tickets anymore, but if you have an all-day ticket, I'm always the person that I will actually pay it forward and actually go and hand it to someone else. And back in the day, before we had My Keys and Opal cards, all that sort of stuff, we should have a physical ticket. I would actually, when we had an all-day ticket, not that we have these trains anymore, but I'd pay it forward and actually give it to someone else. So that's a different way of showing love.
That's true.
Simple things like driving. You know, people are so angry on the roads, but
I
even just
know.
like sometimes when you let someone in, people are just like, oh, really?
And they
Like
don't
there's lots
thank
of kids
you.
that
They don't
look,
like go, hi,
yeah,
thanks. They should
yeah,
thank you.
just like just that split second, you know, making someone's day awesome. You know, so letting someone in, like even just giving someone your parking space, a car park. Car parks are so valuable,
I
especially.
know. In Sydney.
Yeah,
That's true.
so you know, and these are the little things that people actually go, oh, and so they at some point in their day, I'm sure, will pay that forward because it's in their memory bank. It was simple things at the supermarket, leaving someone in front of you. These are all things sort of boil down to time, I guess.
It
But
does,
we're actually
yeah.
giving
It does. And
the
if you've got
supermarkets.
an angry child screaming at you, you might not want to do that.
But you know, these things come down to just being
Yeah,
thoughtful, I
it
think,
does.
and thought.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
another way to spread love, I was just thinking, this is something I love to do all the time, is just to smile at strangers, just to smile
That's
at
very
them,
true.
and and it's just contagious. I
But
actually
compliments
can't
as
remember.
well, complimenting people as
Yes,
well is a nice thing to do, and making sure that they get noticed for, as I said, what they've done. Or they might, like one mum a while back last year said, you know, you're a good mum, you're doing a good job. And I'm like, oh, thank you, that's nice. And I thought, oh, nobody says that, you know. So that
yeah,
was actually really sweet.
acknowledging.
Yeah.
Yeah, so acknowledgement, and I think it's one of those things we don't take enough time to do for family and friends, that we should really do on a regular basis. And as you just said, you know, you can even, you know, with strangers, but you can actually do this on another basis also, and even just leaving someone a note by. We don't think to actually handwrite notes anymore. I don't know if we actually know how to type because we're either doing this on our phones or we're typing. But a
That's right. Yep.
handwritten note to acknowledge the great that someone's actually done, you know. I think handwritten notes and
Yep.
acknowledgement in any aspect, or telling a stranger, as you just said,
Yeah.
this is something. And a phone call, you can always acknowledge someone in a phone call, just to
Yeah,
let them
that's
know
a
that it
nice
was really
idea.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
another thing as well is a donation, and you don't doesn't have to be money by donating money,
No.
but if you know, you can always just clean out the clutter in our house because we accumulate so much stuff.
Yep.
By actually donating and giving love out to other people that need bits and pieces, we're actually sort of helping ourselves also by sort of decluttering our house.
That's a
Bit
good
of
thing
a
too.
Marie
Yeah.
Kondo
And one
house.
thing, oh, Marie Kondo, yeah. Well, I was doing all that, and then she came up, and then now everybody thinks that's what I'm doing, but it's not. Um, One thing in regards to giving back, one of it might be in many coffee shops, but in one of the ones locally up here in the mountains, they have you buy a suspended coffee. And what that means is, for example, somebody who doesn't have heaps of money or is like down on their luck, or really can't afford a coffee, it means that you put it, like, you pay for it and you put a little token, or they put their receipt in this bowl, and then what happens is the person comes in and they can get whatever they want from the bowl. So they can get a cappuccino or a latte or whatever the value of it is. So whenever
Yeah,
I'm in there, I do a suspended coffee.
yeah.
So
And
yeah.
and I guess and the last way I guess we can also sort of give love right throughout the is just through energy, and by sending our thoughts out. If you know you're a religious person, you actually want to pray, but there's different ways of actually, you know, thoughts are so powerful, they really are, and actually, and when your intentions are pure, magic does happen. I really do believe that. So just energy, and actually sending your positive energy and love out to people that actually
Yeah.
need it. I think this is a different way also that we can sort of be spreading love right throughout the year. But everything that
Very
we've
true.
been saying sort of boils down to, I guess, the key points, as you just said earlier on. So we're just finding ways of giving our loved ones more time for themselves, and
Yes.
or to create special time together.
Yep.
And the other thing is to acknowledge. I think everyone needs acknowledgement to some degree, and just appreciation. I think these are
I
the
think
main
that's
things.
it, really. Yeah. Because like
Yeah,
nobody wants to constantly do something and nobody notice what they're doing. You know, you
yeah,
get very frustrated. And if you went to a job all the time and you were working very hard and nobody was giving you anything for it, you wouldn't really want to be there. So it's the same thing, really, but with no pay, you know. So
yeah. That's it.
Yep.
you know, and the people that actually feel acknowledged and appreciated actually are people naturally always give more as well. But, you know,
Very true.
but, you know, but lastly, just keep on smiling at people. That they also the greatest love we can actually give those is to those who deserve it, who don't deserve it, because they're the ones that usually need it the most. So
That's it.
don't just give love to people that it's easy. You know, it's make time and effort. Give love to people actually that don't deserve it, but they actually need it the most, I guess. But there's lots of ideas here for everyone watching.
Good.
The link is at the bottom of the introduction, but lots of ideas for us to be mindful and to be able to spread love right throughout the year, and not just tomorrow on the 14th of February. And we'd love to be able to know, I guess, from your perspective, what you're going to be doing from this list, and keep us updated. Definitely.
Oh yes, I will do. Yep, not a problem.
All right. Well, happy Valentine's for tomorrow.
Thank you. You too.
And by all means, let us know what you're going to be doing from this list.
I will do.
We'll speak to you soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.